Good afternoon. Welcome to the Barbados beach house build. Been a while since I spoke to all of you beautiful 668 subscribers. I hope you're all well. I thought I'd give you a bit of update. Before I do that, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and give me a thumbs up, and please pass on some comments. It'd be greatly appreciated. So I'm going to go through a few updates. Before I start that, I just want to say a few thank yous and a few hellos. Michelle, sorry I didn't actually get back to you on helping you out with your apartment. I hope that's going well. Hope your painting man is doing what he said he was going to do, and good luck. I'm on the island, obviously, as you know, so if you need anything, do let me know. Sonia, hope you travel back okay, and I hope the weather's going all right in the UK. Glad to hear your windows went well. Hope you've obviously got into the CIBC link for banking, which I'll talk to you guys about in a minute. And anything else you need, obviously you know where I am, far away. I'm sure I can help out where I can. And a few other people, there's a few people on the island that are actually on the island as we speak that are needing a bit of help. So again, I'm going to be catching up with them, and I'll update you on how they're getting on. And there's a couple of new people coming to the island in the next couple of weeks that want a bit of help as well. So anybody that does want any help, obviously please fire away. And if you want to catch up, whether you come to me or I come to you, if you're on the island, then obviously reach out as soon as you can. But yeah, welcome to the new people coming to the island. I think it's great. In the meantime, a good friend of mine, Walter, and Gloriana, they've just bought a house 2 roads over from us, which that way. So they're in the midst of completing, because they're actually on the island working for a Bayesian company on the island. Their mortgage is processed very, very quickly, which is awesome. And then other friends of ours have just bought a bit of land, very, very similar to ours, same area, same location, but 3 roads over again as well. So that's going through as we speak. So it'll be interesting to see how that pans out. I'll keep you abreast of that. But they're UK, going to be looking at transferring money over and potentially financing that themselves and doing a build, and the other people have done a mortgage. So again, if anyone wants any heads up on mortgage companies and who to go to and who you know, who's good and who's bad, let me know. The people that have done it really quick have been RBC. We did Republic Bank. So yeah, they're all very, very similar. Some do US dollars only, some do Bayesian dollars. Again, there's a whole hornet's nest of things to dance around where that's concerned. Certainly if you're not going to be living here on an ongoing basis or need to transfer money back. So what's actually happened since I last checked in? So we've had some replacement door handles sent over to quickly test those. I'll show you those in a second. They look awesome. Solid brass this time, so hopefully they'll stay gold looking rather than go in a horrible silvery blue. Our pool, the last couple of days, we've had massive amounts of rain in the last 2 weeks. Last week we had a massive downpour, and the downpour itself made our pool go green. So obviously a large amount of water was pushed into the pool itself, and as a result of that, it diluted the salt/chlorine content. We didn't really know, we just left it down to the pool maintenance company, and yesterday I was in the house looking over and it just looked weird colour. So I went out and had a quick look and inspected, and it was green. There's still mould all over it now. So last night I emptied 4 bags of salt. For those who don't know, we've got a salt pool, not a chlorine pool, which I'd highly recommend to anybody. And this morning it is actually blue rather than green. So there's still lots of marks in it, which I'll show you in a second. I'll go out and burn myself to show you what I mean. But yeah, loads of green mould all the way around it, and a few bits of black appearing as well. So I left the pump on low last night, put 4 bags in there. That's obviously gone through the filter, the chlorinator's done its job, and it's returned back to a nice blue, and most of the green is starting to disappear, which goes to show that salt really does do what it needs to do. It still needs a phosphate reducer put into it, which is a bottle. It's about 135 Bayesian here, it's not cheap, but you only need, I would say, about sort of 100 ml. You put it into the water, and the pump obviously does its thing, and it just removes any form of the green. If you get green in a pool, it's normally a phosphate imbalance. And it just needs a bloody good wire head. I normally use the wire-headed brush rather than just the normal white toilet brush. It just needs a bit of a scrub to get some of it off, and it needs the phosphate added. The pool company might come out this week. I've asked them if they can. Obviously, bear in mind it's not looking great. They'll probably shove a couple of chlorine tablets in there as well to help and give it a bit of a chlorine boost. But I've got a couple of, obviously got the little dip dabs, as I call them, these, where you can test the actual the product itself. But I also bought these, which I don't think I've shown you before. These water quality meters. One of them does pH. I don't really understand the levels. I do need to familiarise myself, you know, these manuals that come with it. I should really read them, never do. But yeah, so you've literally got one which is for pH. Again, digital, you just turn it on, as you can see, and you dip it in the water and it shows you a level. And then you've got this one here which does TDS and EC, whatever that is. Let me know in the comments below if you know what that stands for. But yeah, you can see the levels digitally, which, you know, it's far more easier than using these little things. But again, they're very simple, these. They're not expensive as well, so I'd highly recommend both. The more you can do it and the more you can familiarise yourself with it, the better you can keep on top of your own pool. And without being rude to the pool guys, keep the bill down. So let me start by showing you, get yourself a cup of tea. Let me take you around and show you some bits that we've been doing. So, you can hear some drilling outside, so I'll update you that in a minute. Can you hear it? Awful noise. Anyway, let me show you these. So much nicer. Look, a lot more solid feeling. Very different, a little bit more modern. The only thing I don't like about these ones, they've got a round turn rather than a wedge turn. Sometimes if the door is a bit stiff, then obviously they're quite hard to undo when your hands are a bit damp after washing them and trying to turn it. And that versus these ones. So as you can see, all of them are going a really weird colour. So yeah, it's a shame. But anyway, I thought these were brass because they came from Carlisle brass, but they're not, they're plated. And in this condition, this one hardly ever gets used. But look, even this one inside, it never gets used. Look at the colour of that. So I have asked whether we can actually get some form of rebate back, but they've gone a bit quiet, funny enough. In here, just reminded me, when we did have that win the other day, I bought this bad boy here, 520 Bayesian from Koymans. I think you can get it for about 450 on the island. But wet and dry hoover, massively essential, because one of the problems we actually had is the rain came from this direction and it was hitting these windows, which is absolutely fine, but it landed up coming and filling up these tracks inside and then coming into the house. So it was a real pain, and I didn't have a wet and dry. I've been putting it off and putting it off. If I had it, I'd have better suck the water straight out. It'd have been easy, but no, I didn't. And as a result of that, I had to mop it from here, and then trying to get the water out of these tracks without having the wet and dry was an absolute nightmare. So anyway, the handles, hopefully, I've brought two in. I want to make sure I test them first, make sure they work properly, make sure they don't fade in any way, shape or form, which they shouldn't do, they're solid brass. Yeah, I'm going to bring the rest in. I've also brought in some bedroom wardrobe handles as well, really nice. I mean, Clive Custom Build, I've told you guys about him in the future. If you guys need any furniture built, beds, he did all of our beds, all of our bedside cabinets, all of our wardrobes, supplied and fitted. Excellent guy. In fact, I saw him yesterday in Koymans, so Clive, if you're watching, hope you're well. I'll show you very briefly in a minute the actual handles on the covers, but look, they've transformed it completely. I don't know if you remember, we had a sort of a stainless steel look, and they're not stainless steel, so they're rusting. So I wanted to remove many. We were going to upgrade them anyway, but they needed to be removed because of the rust. So that was a real downside. But anyway, we replaced some as a test to see what they look like. They look absolutely amazing. What else? Okay, I'm going to show you the pool quick, just to quickly show you the left of the green and some of the mould that's appearing. And then I'm going to show you what we're doing outside. We've actually got the patio starting, and we've got the pathway around the house starting. So lots of dust and lots of mess, but it does mean we should be able to get on with doing the garden. As you guys know, the garden has been my pain in my arse. But I can't do the garden, even if I wanted to, without the outside pathway being done, because that forms part of the boundary line for the grass. The grass has got nothing to sit against, so the path is essential. So path is not essential to walk on because we've already got a concrete base there, but if I don't have the height path and the finish, then I've got nothing to butt the grass against, so it does mean we can crack on with that. Okay, let me show you here. So the pool's looking so much more healthy, but as you can see, this is just from a week, you know? Look at the black that's appeared in here. So this all needs a damn good scrub, but we're blue. I mean, yesterday it was green, completely green. I mean, as you can see over in the corners here, you've still got dark patches here where the green is still there. But amazing, no chlorine in there, just salt and the chlorinator doing its job. So I'm probably going to go and turn that up in a minute, but you can see in here, look, This all needs a really good scrub now. And this side is always worse than the other side because this is the bit that unfortunately the water doesn't flow off of. So as you can see, it's not green over there, but it's green here. So I'm gonna have to get the wire head in there in a minute and give that a scrub. But it's amazing how clean this has gone. But you do everywhere, look. So anyway, a phosphate remover and a good scrub with a brush will do that proud, and that should be fine. These have been holding up really well, amazing. Again, Koimans, if you guys are watching. Koimans, I think they were about 680 Bajan each. They're 5 meters squared. But I did have one of them come loose the other night. I looked out, my wife said, your shade's falling down. I was like, what? For some reason, the wind had managed to make the bolt come loose, and it just come unloose. So I had to get up in the middle of the night, hence the reason why our Bajan ladder is sitting where it is. Good old faithful. So in the dark at 11 o'clock at night, I'm up there pulling the shade over. So, and it was quite easy to get on, which shows me that the rope's probably stretched a little bit. So I need to potentially get up there and redo these at some stage, just to ensure that if we do get any big wind, that they're a little bit more tight and taut. Pickleball nets appeared. Yes, pickleball. Love a bit of pickleball. So anyway, we brought the net over, and we've been using it on the patio. People have walked out of here, well, limped out of here, broken, after playing pickleball. I tend to do it on the wall. And the plan is, as I said, to do a pickleball court on here. Now, before we do that, we've got to get all of these cracks redone again. So, I've got a new man that's coming out, Thomas. I will let you know how we get on with Thomas, and if he's good, then we will be referring him to other people. He's tried, so basically the first thing he's done is he's ground down the surface to ensure we've got something very porous to stick to. First thing he needs to do, which is correct. Then I've asked him to get 3 different products he recommends. He could find 2, but I recommended tile adhesive, because tile adhesive really has worked well on some of these cracks, especially where water is. So this is where we get a bit of pooling of water, and this tile adhesive has not given up in the water. So I do think that tile adhesive is going to be our best bet, but he has found 2 construction products. This one here is like a rubbery, it's got a little bit of give in it. So this is more of a construction rubber, but again, it seems to come up well, but I don't think you're going to be able to sand that. Obviously he's gone over it here, but I think when he gets a grinder on that, he's going to maybe see that one coming away a little bit. He's got another construction surface provider, but again, it's still, this was done, we're on Thursday, this was done Tuesday, and it's still soft. Well, that ain't gonna work. Unless it does take 4 or 5 days to cure, but in this sun, how the hell can anything take that long to heal, cure even? So anyway, but what he's doing there, so he's going to literally do what he's done here across the whole patio. All of it's going to be sand down. All of these cracks are going to be ground out. What he did do right on the cracks as well was he actually got a little hilty and then just hilted them so they're nice and jagged to give it a nice bond. But he's going to do all the cracks. He's going to sand down the whole patio, so we're going to have a real dusty, unfortunately, 3, 4, 5 days. And then he's going to get filling, and then he's going to get decontaminating, and then he's going to get painting. So, and then once we've actually got the base down, we are then looking at doing something with pickleball court. That's what we want to do. So I was thinking about going for the green and the blue to try and bring a bit of colour into the patio and have a proper court, but I'm very mindful it becomes hot to stand on. But anyway, food for thought. Let me know in the comments below if you think I should go with the green and the blues for the court. Bear in mind it is a patio, or should I go for something light grey with whites? Let me know in the comments what you think on that. And whilst I'm on the comments, don't forget, if you can give me a like if I'm adding a little bit of value to your lives, your construction building lives, let me know below. And certainly give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you don't mind, that'd be great. As you can see in the background, our sheets are up a little bit, and there seems to be troughs being dug, and you can hear hilties. So what we're doing here at the moment, this is the path. So what we're doing at the moment, where the mud's being dug up, we're going to put a French drain all the way around there and all the way down that side to the wall, so that we can collect the water off of the pathway into a drain and take it off the premises rather than leaving it where it is and having pooling and all sorts. We've also got some basket work going in there as well, so that we can actually, I suppose, strengthen the actual walkway itself. So if it does get boggy and does get muddy and wet, then there's still holding it up rather than just be relying on concrete. And obviously we'll put the standard BRC or metal caging into the floor and the concrete itself. So I'm going to take you around and show you what they're up to at the moment. The other thing we're doing at the moment is having solar put on the roof. Everyone knows we're doing that. But But at the moment, what we're having to do is you have to apply for an application first. So we put the application in, which is 2,250 Bayesian. That is your application. Once your application has been accepted, then you can start the application on installing the solar itself. I'm going to be going to the bank and borrowing the money from the bank, which they're quite keen to do on the island at the moment. I think the percentage is about 3.5%. So the bank will loan you the money over a 10 to 15 year period based on a small percentage. And the payback is normally between 3 and 7 years, depending on how big your house is, your use is, and the size of the system you put in, obviously. Once you've done that, the mains that needs to come from the grid to the house has to be put in a certain way. So it's meant to be apparently in a 4-inch conduit. It's got to be at least 3 foot down, and it's got to be concreted in afterwards. So you've got to get them out to inspect that it's in the right conduit, in the right depth, before you're allowed to concrete it. So we're at a stage now where it's been dug out, and we're now trying to plan them coming out so we can finish the path. We can't do the path without them coming out and inspecting the conduit and saying that's okay. So we're doing the conduit for the solar at the same time as doing the path. So the actual solar is going to hold up the path, unfortunately, which is a pain in the arse, but you may as well get the conduit put down before the path is done, obviously. So let me take you around and quickly show you what that looks like. Okay, so you can see some of the irrigation that they've actually found. So this is the irrigation we put in to spray the garden as and when we're ready. I'd like to see where that goes. Maybe that's going straight that way. And as you can see, it's coming around here. The air conditioning, we ran that to there, but it is so much water coming off our air conditioning. As you can see, the drip's coming out there. So we're definitely going to have to reroute that. I'm thinking about rerouting that itself across the garden here. So it comes out the wall, just down there. So I'm probably going to take it along here, into the ground here, and then, if you remember rightly, years ago, the patio drainage comes in here and in this corner here. I've joined them together somewhere around here. They go through the concrete floor into a 3-inch pipe. So what I want to try and do is take that air conditioning straight into that, just to get rid, because at the moment, as you can see, the water, that's just from the air conditioning. So we need to get any water off the site sooner rather than later. So this has all been dug up, ready for the French drain to come down, and eventually we're going to connect it into another set of drains, which was going to be a French drain here, but we've had to dig this up. Oh, they've done a 90 there. Shouldn't be doing 90. That's incorrect. I'm going to have to tell them about that. So basically, the pipe has got to come from that far corner. There's the electric room. We've got to take the cable along this pathway all the way along into this tube into the basement. So at the moment, they're doing it so they can put a 4-inch through all the way down here, and then they can take it this way. But you're not going to bend one of those cables at 90 degree. So they're going to have to take that more along here. You can't do a 90. There's no way you're going to get that cable in a 90. So they're going to do that anyway. And then obviously the French drain will be connected. There's a pipe in here, if you remember rightly. It comes out the wall on the other side. We're going to connect this one here and this one here together, as well as the return that's going to be coming up here as well. There's a pipe there. That, I think, is part of the irrigation. So that should be connected to the one up there, I think. Or at least capped off, one of the two. But anyway, so that's what's happening at the moment. So they're connected, they're drilling this out so they can get the pipe put in. That's obviously going to be connected up to this, and eventually this will be one whole concrete path coming all the way down here, all the way down here, and all the way across. So that's one company doing that, and that's Hans, which I'll let you know. I think it's Hark Construction. So I'll put Hans's details up there. He seems to be a good guy so far. He's doing what he said he's going to do, which is good news. So I will test him out, and if he's good, I will refer him. And Tom as well, I'll let you know what Tom's business is called. So again, I'll test him first. If he's good, then I'll share his details for you guys. So you've got, again, 2 more connections on the island that do what they say they're going to do. So far, they've both been good, so fingers crossed. Prices are okay, and hopefully they can do the job that they say they're going to do. What else? The last thing I think I spoke, I did actually have the window delivered for the annex that was broken in transit, and the garage door. Garage door is in the house, but it's not fitted. But the window on the side of the building, I mean, I literally fitted it so bloody quick. we're having a barbecue, and people were coming around and we were like, well, you might as well use the toilet in the annex. Oh, but can't open the window. So I literally fitted the window within 20 minutes. Don't give me inquiries about fitting windows. I'm not interested. We'll invite you guys to speak to John about that. Sonia can vouch for John. John did a good job for her, so John's your window man on the island. So I'll take you through in a minute and I'll show you obviously the delivery that took place. That's been done. Also the wood. We've had all the wood cut. Again, a guy called Patrick on the island. Really good introduction. He cut and planed down my wood. So he got the planks, the 8-foot and 14-foot planks that I ordered from Blade & Williams. He's planed either side to get them nice and fresh, and then he's cut them down into 4-foot lengths, about 1.5 inches wide, ready for the gates. Now I can't do the gates until they've finished doing all the concrete. I don't want to go putting up nice lovely wood and then having dust and concrete going on. So all of the wood has been cut. It's in my garage waiting to be installed. That is going to be one of my next projects to get stuck into. So yeah, that's pretty much where we are so far. So let me take you through and show you the wood very quickly. Sorry about that, it was incoming call. Right, so here's the wood. Cracking job. So we've got the long lengths for the electric cupboard, and we've got the short lengths for the gate itself. So yeah, it's a beautiful wood. And I think you find that your grease done a great job. Planed it down, it's nice and square. It's a lovely colour. Hopefully with the sun, it should fade to a bit of a silver. So I don't want to let it fade too much, but I don't want it being dark, and I want to oil it. So I'm probably going to let it change a shade, a couple of shades, and then try and get all of it to sort of this colour. And when it gets to this colour, then potentially oil it with some form of oil. So if anybody on the island knows of anywhere decent that does a good oil, let me know. Wow. Not messing around. Yeah, so if anybody knows anywhere that does a good sort of oil, a teak oil or a cedar oil, let me know. Right, let's get out of here so we can actually hear ourselves think. Construction in Barbados never ends. So yeah, that's pretty much where we are so far. So I'm not too sure if there's anything I need to update you with. I think we're pretty much on top of everything else. I will do a separate video at some stage on the air conditioning, on the solar, because obviously we're going through the motions at the moment, so it'd be good to sort of show you guys what you have to go through, who you need to call, what the process is. But one thing we are doing, we're bringing in like a racking from China that literally goes on the roof. So rather than putting blocks up there and more weight, we've actually got some metal runs that you fix to the roof and you tie them all together. So you still have to have a couple of blocks, but the blocks themselves are probably every 3 to 4 panels rather than every panel. So the last thing I wanted to do is start sticking 30, 40, 50 blocks upstairs on top of the roof. The more weight's going to be worse. So yeah, so we're going to bring in this metal tray work of some sort, and everything's going to be mounted to that. So when I start knowing more, I'll let you know. But just give you a heads up, it's looking around about 125 to 130,000 Bayesian for a 45 to 48 kilowatt system. So that will give you a little bit of an inkling as to what the costs are. And again, you can borrow that from the bank, and the connection to the grid should pay you a lot more than the loan itself that obviously you'll have to borrow to pay for the equipment. And then obviously then 3 years down the line, 5 years down the line, it pays for itself, and then the loan is then pretty much settled, and the rest of it is obviously reducing your electric bill. But I'll update you a little bit more when I know a little bit more than that. Other than that, turf providers, anybody knows anyone that does good turf on the island that's cheap? Let me know, because obviously we want to crack on with that. So as soon as that path is finished, which I think is going to be about 2 to 3 weeks, unfortunately, I want to get on with that garden and get that done, because that's the only eyesore at the moment that I see that I don't like. So if anything else changes, I'll let you know. In the meantime, don't forget, if I've added a little bit of value to you, please give me a like below. And the comments are always greatly appreciated from everybody. So if you could give me some comments below, that'd be greatly accepted on my behalf. And I will certainly return the comment as and when I see them. Other than that, I will check in with you at some stage in the next couple of weeks. Certainly give you a little bit more of an update on the path and the patio, which is going to be taking place in the next week. So unfortunately, you may see me a bit quicker than normal. Other than that, thanks for watching. Have a great day, and I will check in with you in the next week or two. Take care.